There's a certain segment of the population that reacts with outrage to just about everything. I mean, that's particularly true online. If you go out, you look at headlines, for example, look at all the people, businesses, and on that certain folks try to burn down day in and day again. Now, when you're looking at that, is there a way to make it work for you? I wonder. So hey there. So today we are going to return to that wonderful world of numbers to talk about certain people out there, you may call them NPCs or SJWs, and how you can utilize them for what I like to term retail. Now I'll loop back to this at the end of the video, but the case of the littlest umbrella is the perfect example of retail. People wanted to destroy it. They tried to flag it down, and then they went beyond and beyond and beyond. They're still doing so, in fact. This, however, it didn't go away. Quite the opposite, in fact. It made it work even more than if they would have just walked away and shut their mouths. That, it showcases quite a bit, but more on that at the end of the video. So you had opinions online, or your company actually releases something, and a certain crowd of never-do-wells, they decide to call you an ist or a phobe, or worse. Maybe they've even gone to the point where they call you an N to the A, to the Z, to the I. You know that word that basically has become punchable from our social vernacular? So they're calling for violence, or maybe it's even worse. Maybe they're calling you a P to the E, to the D, to the O, because again, they want to destroy your life. Well, the first thing that you have to do is stop being defensive, because apologies for maybe you going out and being misinterpreted or maybe having the wrong opinion, yeah, that doesn't work. These people, they act like sharks. They will see that blood in the water and they'll go after you, and they'll go after you harder. Now, what you do is you go out and you utilize that outrage. You make sure that these people actually see you, because when they're spreading that news, other people see you, they understand the plight of that product, and well, you know, it's really hard to burn something down So what we're going to talk about here is the idea of engagements. We're talking about this for free versus people going out and actually paying for advertisement. Now, you see this number here. This is a Twitter number, but we're going to utilize this for an idea that we're running. Now, here we have an effective breakdown of Facebook. It actually talks about the 2019 costs, and you'll have certain terms that'll come up. Now, to understand these, average CPC, or cost per click, we're talking about, again, costs per click with an industry average, talking about all industries there, of $1.86. Now, the cost per thousand, or CPM, this comes up at $11.20. However, again, that varies wildly. I mean, if you go through here, you can see how much that varies. Some things like retail, they bust down pretty low. But say we're in consumer services, that's where we're going to look at here. Now, the average cost per click for consumer services is $3.08. And what are you going to get with that? Well, that's the most disappointing thing here, because the average click-through rate is less than 1%. 0.62%. I mean, that is absolutely crazy when you consider how much money you're spending just to try to get people to land on your product and look at it. Then, when you look at the conversion rate, again, that's going to vary wildly, but look at how much success you have off of that less than 1%. About 10% of the time for that, people might actually do something. They might actually engage our product. So for all the money that we're spending, we're going to get 10% or so of less than 1% of the people that are looking at our ad. Doesn't sound very effective, no? And these costs, too. I mean, you can see the cost types are structured in a lot of ways. Cost per views, cost per actions, cost per like. I mean, it's absolutely insane when you start breaking this stuff down. When you look into it, it's a great market for a lot of these places, but you don't get anything for them. Now, when we're talking about Twitter costs, you actually have 3 types of breakdowns. I think they're all interesting, but only 2 apply to us. We have promoted tweets, promoted accounts, and then promoted trending topics. We won't consider promoted trending topics, but just to say, if you're curious, promoting a trending topic can cost you $200,000 per day. That's right. Man, money there. I wonder how that return works. Now, when you're talking about a promoted tweet, this is an item that you put out and you want to share it with other users. That's going to cost an average of $1.35 each time someone clicks on it, replies to it, or retweets. Now, to really describe that, if you're not a user here, you can see this. Now, the impressions means how many people that would have landed for. And out of that, what was your total engagement? These are the people that decided to click on it or say retweet it or say reply to it. So you can see this number, this is your available audience, and this is your available audience you would be paying for, just to give you that idea. Now, when we're looking at these numbers too, you have to remember that the cost of running a promoted tweet, it goes about 50 cents to $2 for each first action. However, you can go up to $4 per action once they go on the different scale. So after a little while, yeah, you could be talking about $4 per thing. You can see how this looks here. Here's ESPN doing that. You can see the promotion here, and you can see how much they'll have to pay for. Interestingly, here for their likes alone, I mean, that is about what we'd be looking at for cost, just to give you an idea of what they end up paying. Now, the promoted account thing, that also lands on this, because you're going to pick up long-term followers saying, I wonder what this person's up to. I wonder what I can learn from them. To do that would cost you $2 to $4 per follower. So it doesn't matter the quality of the follower. It doesn't matter if it's a sock account or anything else. You're still going to pay $2 to $4 for it. If people are just responding to a brand, well, that might not actually get anything for you. But if you're somebody that's having that pile on, you're already getting that kind of negative attention. You may actually be bringing in followers that will back what you do because they see people for who they truly are. Now, when we consider the numbers that we were looking at for this, total engagement, again, looking at a price range of about 50 cents to $4 per, we're talking about $930 to $7,440 when you're looking at advertisement. That's for one item that these people help spread. So, I mean, really think about that. Really think about what you actually get out of that. It's not just on this, too. Now, when we're talking about accounts themselves, I mean, look at how many followers this has set up. We're talking about 12,100 and I think around 21 followers currently. And if you look across a timeline and see how it's grown, it's not necessarily the person that's out there promoting it, but rather the reaction to people to this that promotes it. You can see that broken down very well over time. I mean, look at this. Every time these people get reactive and they get their fifis in a twist, they go out, they do something crazy, and they basically boost the very thing that they detest. They retail for you. I mean, if you look at this and you look at how it's gone along, their huge reaction, it was right when a comic dropped because they acted totally insane. And they've gone from there. And you notice all of the spikes here that come across it. Yeah, it's because, again, product comes out. These people, they react how they typically do. And they grow those very brands because you can either be proactive and reactive, or you can go out and you can let people bury you. Now, the perfect example of this for me is the case of the Littlest Umbrella. And you can mirror this release to the other stuff that we've talked about and how exactly advertisement has worked. You can see these people go absolutely insane once this is talked about and once it's released. And well, that leads to success. Now, you have to know that these people, the way that they react, it is insane to deal with day to day. You think that these people are awful when you watch them doing things. Well, be the target of that. And you can think, my God, is this still going on? Are they still reacting in that? At the same time, you look at the amount of support for projects because these people are going to do this stuff anyhow. So you can either lay down and you can let them bury that, or you can go out and succeed. To illustrate that purpose too, I mean, this is a comic book put out by that umbrella guy. Now, when you look at the name there and you look at Twitter and YouTube, much less following at the time. The artists on it, Peter Gilmore, Kyung Lee, great artists, very, very talented people. But as the quartering said, Who exactly are they? That's the thing. We're not just talking about the action of the comic existing, the action of advertisement, but also the reaction, and that, well, working as a retail. So anyway, you tell me what you think about all of this. Now, ending this, I also want to thank you for showing up and participating. That's another thing that many of these people in their endeavors forget. You empower that. Not them, not the creator of something, you, the consumer. Ultimately, you have all the power to materialize support. So, as I say, thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating. And we'll be doing this stuff again very soon. Thanks.